And you can do things like versioning and do sophisticated sharing of documents. You can do concurrent collaboration on a document, where if you have Office 2013, which you'd get as part of your subscription, then multiple people can open up the same document in a document library and edit it together. So you could have one person editing one section and another person editing another section, and they'd see each other both working on the document at the same time, and the updates would happen in real time. So it's a great way to collaborate. There's also picture libraries, and there's even wiki page libraries. So you can set up a little wiki for your business. It's a great way to share information and provide a repository for kind of the information about your company, your processes, your procedures, and things of that nature. Just questions that maybe customers of the business would have. So it's a great place to put frequently asked questions and just various information that you might want to have. In terms of permissions, you can go ahead and set those on a per library basis. Again, you can do that right from within the dashboard. You can also just inherit permissions from the parent site, or kind of the top level SharePoint assignment, and that's probably one of the most typical ways to go, especially in smaller environments. But you can do more granular setting of permissions if you need or want to do that. In terms of the end users working with documents in a SharePoint library, and we'll talk more about the user experience in the part 7 of this series, but you can go ahead and get at SharePoint libraries through your browser, through Internet Explorer or whatever web browser that you want to use. But there's also a link in that web page where you can click on it and ask to synchronize with your local PC. And that will let you open up the document library using Windows Explorer, just like you would open up just a normal shared folder that's on the Essential server itself. So the experience then for the end user working with documents is pretty much exactly the same, whether that document is local or whether it's in the cloud. So you have a true hybrid IT environment, and really that's kind of the goal that we're going after here, is to make that experience seamless and give you the best of both worlds. In terms of mobile device management, again, as I mentioned, you can set device password policies, so whether or not you want to enforce that devices have to have a PIN. You can set the length of that and how many attempts that you have to sign in, how long an interval should pass before the device automatically locks itself due to inactivity. You can even define password strength or require encryption, assuming that the device supports that. And finally, you can, as I mentioned, define access rules. So this would let you block devices based on the family or the device model that they have, and then finally remote wipe of devices, which we've had in the past. The next part of the integration experience is the internet domain name configuration. So again, you don't want to use the onmicrosoft.com domain that's given to you when you just initially set up a subscription, but you want to go ahead and use your own internet domain name that you have for your company. And so there's a wizard as part of the integration module that makes it easy to configure that company domain name that you can use across. And the most common way that you'd see this in the local environment is through remote web access. So users can access the server remotely through their web browsers at remote.yourdomainname whatever it is. And you want to have that same web address be used for your email. So typically, we use contoso.com as our example, so you might open up your web browser and go to remote.contoso.com to access remote web access, and then you might have an email address that is, terry@contoso.com or whatever the case may be. And so synchronizing